Before you ask, yes, I am outside and it is raining. Okay, that being said, hypocrisy. It is something I believe to be unavoidable in life. You know, when you become a parent, I believe that's like an automatic ticket to hypocrisy. We all have moments of do as I say, not as I do. And that's what brings us to this story coming to us from the New York Post via, ESPN. ESPN cuts off Stephen A. Smith before getting too political. This is written by Mark Fisher and Michael Blinn, or Blinn, not sure which one, but either ways. Previously, a day or two before this incident happened, Stephen A. Smith was on his radio show talking about the Houston Rockets' Dan Morey situation and chastising Dan Morey for putting the company in an awkward position. And here he goes, not even a full 48 hours later. Let's get into this article. ESPN immediately cuts a commercial break during Tuesday's First Take as Stephen A. Smith brought up the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in response to the ongoing NBA controversy surrounding Rockets general manager Daryl Morey and his since-deleted pro-Hong Kong tweet. Network president Jimmy Pitaro in the past has urged his employees to stay away from politics, and a memo reportedly was sent out repeating the same message in light of Morey showing support for pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong. Go away. Morey's tweet has created a headache for the NBA, which has numerous business interests in China. ESPN and the NBA have a multi-billion-dollar broadcasting agreement. Before we close, that's my Stephen A. Smith voice, Steve Smith said, I would remind you that throughout this world, one of the things that exists is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And I don't see folks outside of the Jewish community talking about that too often. You moron. You just chastised Morey for pulling the company into something that it was not good for the bottom line. Oh my goodness. Smith, one of the network's most popular voices, was then cut off by co-host Molly Quorum. Let's take a commercial break, Quorum said. She added, sometimes, obviously, our moral compass trumps business interests. Before bringing up Colin Kaepernick, you know what? Shut up. Protesting social injustice. He was protesting his contract. Stop it. Stop with that lie. Other ESPN talking heads have gotten in hot water for voicing their political opinions on air, including most recently Dan Le Batard and Jamel Hill, who is no longer with the network. Morey has since apologized for the tweet. I was merely voicing one thought based on one interpretation of one complicated event. I have had a lot of opportunities since that tweet to hear and consider other perspectives. Israel and Palestinian territories have been fighting over land control since the early 20th century. And yeah, so I think Stephen A. Smith, and I've spoken on Stephen A. Smith before. He's about the bag, he used to say a whole lot of real ish on ESPN until they called him out, or they popped him on saying, hey, maybe women shouldn't provoke men, and he got suspended, and he's definitely been walking the company line ever since. But the reason I really wanted to do this video is just to highlight the hypocrisy, particularly within Mr. Smith right here, because he just gone on his show and said, oh, you have to think about the company, you have to think about the bottom line, particularly when you're speaking for the company, and then turns around and pulls this nugget out. And granted, he wasn't negative or positive in his connotation. He was using it as a talking point, but at the same time, you're still opening a can of worms that is best left sealed, at least from that type of position. Now, I could talk about it all I want because it doesn't particularly affect my bottom line, and I'm not on national television. But you, sir, you are. So to sit there, chastise Daryl Morey, and then turn around and kind of do this he didn't show support, and he didn't show support either way. But what he did do was bring it up on company time, bro. So seriously, Stephen A. Smith, stick to your own rules there, buddy. So with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss a like, dislike, yeah, go ahead, do that too. I'm not scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice. I want to get videos like this every single day. Share because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute and the like, I don't really like me like that. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? Should Stephen A just really, like, when it comes to social stuff, I do believe that if your niche is sports, talk about sports. If it happens to roll over, say, hey, not our beef, and keep it pushing, as opposed to putting your foot in your behind every time, or putting your foot in your mouth every time you open it, because there's really no wins when it comes to going outside of your niche. At least that's my thoughts, but let me know what you think in the comments, and until the next one.